welcome to Stitching Ain't Easy. My name is Ashley. Thank you all so very much for joining me today. So, okay, thought I would come on here with a little bit of kind of a story time, I guess, and ramblings. I have a little bit of yarn to share with you all and some rescue crochet. So, I'm currently sitting on the bed so you can see more of the yarn wall and the craziness that I'm telling y'all about. Like, it is this cluttery mess. It's driving me crazy. I love the rainbow. That's about it. So we're going to do something with this. So anyway, stay tuned for that. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to like connect these. Okay, I mentioned this. So like these cubes, 2 sets of cubes, I feel like can go up here and it'll be about this tall. And then maybe one more set of cubes here. Make it like 4 wide and what, 5 tall? That seems really tall. I don't know. Something, because this isn't working. So I know that. Anyway, yeah, so under construction. Not really, I guess, but in my mind. So all right. Anywho, the other day we went to well, we were going to go to the dam, which is just right down the road from our house, like 15-20 minutes, something like that, to the dam and go like meet up with our friend. We've been friends. I've mentioned my best good friend Ashley on here a few times. My hubby was going to meet her hubby and go like get in trucks and climb hills and, you know, dude stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so we went because like Finn and I went also because we wanted to go to yard sales. Finn was totally cool with going to you know, get in the truck or whatever and do dirt bike and 4-wheel truck things, all those things. I like to mud bog. That's about as far as I go into it all. Anyway, but yeah, so we were gonna go do that, and on the way back we were gonna stop at yard sales. It's gonna be a really fun time, yada yada yada. Okay, so we went and we kind of waited a little bit for our friend. Him and his son had just taken off and they were going to watch a race. So whenever you go down to these places and go to the race, you kind of like get trapped in. There's not really any getting out until like the race is over and everyone kind of clears out so you can move out. So we got there right before the race started. By the time like they would have had the race, all of that stuff, Finn would have been late to work. So we didn't end up really like going to do like the truck crawl basically. So we were like eyeing, Finn and I, should I say, were eyeing out yard sales the whole way there. And whenever we got to the little town right before the dam, there was a flea market, and Finn's like, I want to go on that flea market. And I'm like, yes, don't forget. And so we went. So I didn't get to go dirt biking. So we came back by the flea market and stopped. Because why wouldn't you? Let's be real. So we were so excited. It is one of the coolest flea markets I've ever been to. I talked a little bit about this story and things the other day on my live, but let's do a video. So, okay. It was the coolest flea market. It was just like, you know, sometimes you walk in like flea markets or thrift stores and you're just kind of itchy. Like you're just kind of like, it's kind of dingy in here. It wasn't like that at all. It was so clean and so pretty and it smelled nice and everything was color coded, which made my brain very happy. Like ignore this part. This part. It was very that. So there was a table that had all like red stuff on it and one with all orange and yellow and like black and purple, or you know all the colors, colors, whole table full of that. So I mentioned to the lady how cool that was. I was like, I love that everything's color coordinated. She's like, oh yeah, I don't know antiques. She's like, so I just color coordinated everything. I'm like, I love it. Like it looks so good. And so I like hung out and looked at more things. I feel like because they were color coordinated, it was like, let's look at the purple stuff. So fun. So we walked around there. I always look for rescue crochet whenever we go into a thrift store or flea market. I try to just, I rarely buy anything. Like sometimes I do, but sometimes they're either asking a lot of it or it's not really like, you know, it just kind of depends. Honestly, I'm kind of picky about my rescue crochet. I don't just like bring all the crochet home because it get a little out of hand real fast. So kind of picky about it. But I like to rescue things because I know people spend a lot of time on them. So we walked around. That was what I was looking for, and obviously yarn. Finn had his eye on wrestlers because he makes wrestler clothes, and then you know, just stuff. So Derek, tools. Okay, so the three of us, I should mention, B was at my mom's. Squirrely Dan had to work, which stinks. So that's where they were. So it was just the three of us. So yeah, so we're like walking around the store, and Finn sees a suit. It's like, you know, pants and a jacket, and it's this beautiful blue suit, and he was so excited. Whenever we did go to public school, whenever they were little, Finn went until 2nd grade. Squirrely Dan was in 5th grade. B was in kindergarten whenever they all came home. So, but whenever Finn would go, like at least 3 times a week, he would try to wear like a suit or something suit adjacent. He rocked a tie a lot. Still loves a tie. He used to like wear them a lot to school. It would be like with a t-shirt, like a Super Mario t-shirt and his tie. So always had like just a knack for being very stylish. He used to have a brown cowboy hat. I know those aren't the same thing, but just as far as style goes. Had a brown cowboy hat, wore like the shape off of the brown cowboy hat. I've never seen anyone wear a hat out, like a cowboy hat especially, because you know, you like put them on like this and that whole yes ma'am thing and put it on like this and all that, and he would do that, but I mean, like, had no shape. It was just like this floppy thing. It was the cutest thing ever. The headband fell off of it. That's how much he rocked it. So I always wore cute stuff, so he's always like has an eye out for something real fancy. So anyway, found the suit, looked at the tag, and they had $4 on it. So he's like, I'm getting this. I was like, oh, heck yeah, you are. So he gets the suit. We're walking around, and we go in like this little back room, and they have like a bunch of TVs and just stuff. There was some furniture, like some really nice beds. I mean, honestly, they had a little bit of everything, and everything was really, really nice in there and ridiculously reasonably priced. Like, I was just like, are you sure this is right? And she's like, yes. So anyway, it's a couple that owns it, and then they have like, I don't know, they work somewhere else because she mentioned that, and but they have like the store too, because I was like, hey, do you guys like rent out booths or anything? So it was like, you know, that'd be kind of cool. And she's like, nope, it's just us. I'm like, all right. So you know, just in case, because I've discussed putting our stuff in like a little flea market spot. That was a really nice one, and yeah, so okay. Anywho, so we go in like the little back room. I said there are like some just TVs and computers things. Back in the very back there is an organ, like a little, like a keyboard sized organ, and it stands up, obviously, I guess. So anyway, it's like a wooden altogether organ. I would take a picture of it, but we purchased it. It's in Finn's room, spoiler alert. So anyway, so it's like, I don't know, this wide maybe, and probably 3.5, something like that, feet long. And it's a plug-in organ, and there's a little light on top of it and everything. And they have a sticker on it that says $5. So Finn is like over the moon. He's gonna get his suit for $4 and his organ for $5. So happy. So I'm like, heck yes, that's so cool. So I ask, you know, are you gonna get it? He's like, well, I don't know, I'm just gonna see. So I'm like, all right. So we walk around a little bit more. So then we get up to the front, and well, before that, I guess I found my stuff. Eventually, I'll just say that in case I forget, because it was absolutely adorable. So we get up to like the front part where there's like the tools, where Derek's been pretty much his whole time tool stuff, looking at all that. There's like, I mean, a big huge room of like dude things, and then there's like cups and plates and all that stuff, and over kind of in the middle of the two there was a CB radio. I was like, oh my gosh, like, do I tell him or not? Because Finn, like, that's something that he's way into. So I'm like, just, do I tell him or not? You know, like, Christmas is coming up. And so about the time I was, because same thing, it had like $5 on it, and I was getting ready to like reach for it and grab it, and Finn comes up. He's like, oh, check it out. I was like, Dad, come here. Like, he saw it. So I'm like, hey, would you be into this? And he's like, well, yes. I'm like, okay, I figured that's what you say. I was like, if I get it, can you like forget about it until Christmas? And he's like, yes. So I'm like, awesome. So then I'm like, we should probably go put this stuff up front. And so we go and like lay the things down. The lady was very sweet. We were like the only people in the store. So we go up front, lay the suit down and the CB radio. He hasn't decided about the organ yet. So we're still kind of walking around or whatever. And there's like there's a creeper. So like a creeper, not like Minecraft, but like the wooden flat deals with like the little bitty wheels that like you lay on to go underneath the car to work on, like a mechanic would use. Mechanic, that was the word. Anyway, like you would lay on to like scoot under a car and work on it. One of those. So there was one of those over on the side. Same thing. It was like hardly anything. I mean, it was crazy in there. So anyway, they had one of those on the other side. I've been looking for Derek a creeper for a really long time because he works on like everyone's cars, all that stuff. So anyway, I saw it and I'm like, oh, like check it out. Like talking to Finn. It's so difficult sometimes with the nicknames. Anyway, talking to Finn, I'm like, dude, check it out. Like, you know, oh my gosh. And so anyway, and I said something and Derek's on the other side and he heard me and he's like, I saw that. He's like, that's so cool. And I was like, again, like, you know, I'm not good at surprises, obviously, my big mouth, I guess. So I'm like, would you want it? Like, is it, you know, whatever. I was like, I've been looking for you a creeper for a really long time. This one's really cool because it was wooden. The headrest was like kind of, I don't know if it was like sun damaged, but it was kind of just old and like cracked. It's like you could tell it's like a, you know, crummy plastic or whatever, and so it was kind of cracked and messed up, but the wood and the wheels are in really good shape. So it's like, I've been looking for you one for a while, but like I know him, and so it's like an old cool one he would like a lot more than like a brand new whatever one. And he's like, it's exactly like my grandpa's. Like, stop it. He's like, I'm serious. He's like, I walked past, it's like, oh, it's just like my grandpa's. And I'm like, okay. I was like, you don't see me over here. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, no, for real. Like, just there's a wall. Like, you don't see me. No windows, just walls. He's like, okay. So I go like back to the front or whatever and talking to the lady. This is when she's telling me about like the color coordinating and how she doesn't know antiques, so she color coordinates and all that. I'm like, that's so cool. So I'm like, so there's a creeper back there. I was like, you know, we need that too. So anyway, she's like, okay. And she's like, I guess you have plans for it. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, we've already discussed like how do we fix it? What can we do? It's like a couple of dollars. So anyway, we have, you know, at this point, the CB radio, the suit, and a creeper. So we're like walking around. And so right before we walked into whatever, I wanted to, you know, remember this part. So right before the CB radio, I guess technically I had a couple other things up there. So anyway, we're walking through and I see like craft books. I'm like, oh, please have like a crochet book, because down the rabbit hole, and how fun would that be? So I'm looking. I don't see any, but I see this really cool little basket and it's like mounded over with doilies. And I was like, stop it. Like, yay, I get to dig. And so excited. So I started to dig. So, if y'all have been here, you know I really want to make a doily. I don't know why I haven't. But I haven't. But I really want to make a doily. But same thing, like I said, I love to like just rescue crochet and things. It's so fun. And these were $1.50 a piece. That's what she had on them. So first thing, I grabbed this one. So none of them are really doilies. The ones I got really are more like table runners. But first one I grabbed was this one. So it has linen in the middle. And then it's just this beautiful, beautiful stitch all the way around it. So it kind of looks like a bell. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. Y'all can let me know. But it's beautiful. So this, so it was $1.50. And I've been doing the punch needle, which is kind of like embroidery, but you just punch the little thingy. And so I've been kind of looking for linen things. And so I thought it'd be really cool, like in the middle of this, to have Bee draw something or something and make like a punch needle project. Put it in the middle of the coffee table in the living room, have a whole little moment. Perhaps we put gnomes on it, Heck, I don't know. So this is my first purchase for $1.50. Yes. So it's like, that is amazing. So then I start digging some more. Like, I'm starting to lay things on my lap. So I dig some more in this little basket. And I found this one. And I don't know what... This is going to be like a shout out to my crochet buddies. If y'all have any idea what this stitch is, what this pattern, I suppose, really, because it's just like double crochets and stuff, I can see what stitch it is. But if you know what pattern this is, if y'all would let me know, because I would love to make one of these. But I got this. They're like little flowers, almost. If you can look through it too, that's cool. So like I said, I can tell they're like little double crochets and some chains. I'm guessing you just start in the middle. Surely don't stitch them all together, but like a back and forth type thing. I don't know, but it's beautiful. So I loved this one, so I snagged it. And then there were some like regular size just doilies. I didn't grab any of those. And like looking back, I wish I would have, because when I was talking about this the other day on the live, we had a whole thing. So anyway, this is the third one. Pretty little. So it's not, I mean, it's decent size. That's a lot of work, I can tell you that. But it's a whole lot of work. But yeah, it's, like I said, a good table runner size. I don't know, it's maybe 2.5, maybe 2-ish feet. So, anywho, I thought this one was so cool. Thought they were all way cool, so I got these. Didn't get regular doilies. And then I've seen on YouTube shorts this girl that takes like old doilies that she's saved, and she makes it into like a really pretty dress. So the other day, whenever I was on here for a live, I was like, how fun would that be though to make this, like, I mean, that's already a sleeve. If we just do this and like gather, I have a sweatshirt on right now, but if we do this and like gather right here, that's already a sleeve. And then we could take like this piece. How fun would that be? Take like this piece, drape it over a little, make like a front, and just use a whole bunch of doilies and pieces and make a way cool cardigan or a dress or something. I feel like a cardigan would be a really hip time, but anyway, we had that discussion. I don't know if we will do it, we will see, but it sounded like fun. So, anyway, so yeah, I got these. And then Finn was looking in a little basket that was right next to these, and he's like, Mom, he's like, so we always have this deal, like we like to go to yard sales and estate sales, thrift stores, and look for yarn and rustlers. So he's like, Mom, check it out, and holds this up. 50 cents. So this is the Mainstay 100% cotton, like Walmart Mainstay yarn. 180 yards, 3.5 ounces, 165 meters, 100 grams. It's a medium 4-weight. I suggest you use a 5mm. Once again, whatever you're into, crochet or knitting. 100% cotton. This is the color Daylily Pink. So very cute. This is a whole skein of yarn for 50 cents. So he found this one. We were all excited. And then he held this one up and he's like, check it out. Also 50 cents. So I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that this is that Mainstay 2-ply, or not 2-ply. No, not 2-ply. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where that came from. Anyway, Mainstay, the anti-peeling yarn. I don't know how those went together. Told myself a joke. Alright, anyway, so yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's the Mainstay yarn. So he picks it up and I was all excited because you can always use black, plus it was 50 cents. And then this was in the middle of it. So it's a glittery 5mm hook. It's yellow, like gold glitter, I guess. It's got a gold glitter. So anyway, hook in a yarn for $1, and I was all excited. So then the other little buttons, or the other little buttons, spoiler alert, the other doilies and such, like so, were all $1.50. I found, which if y'all have been here, then you know how much I love a little jar of buttons. It's just like the happiest little thing ever. So I found this 25 cents. So I got this, don't tell her, I got this for B because she's been using buttons on her jewelry, like her bracelets and her necklaces, and it looks so cool, like a charm, and then she weaves the little buttons, and I won't tell you all of her secrets, but they're way cool. So anyway, some buttons. So a little 25-cent stocking stuffer. She's like me, a whole thing of buttons is a really happy time. So I walk up to the counter, things in hand, CB radio already laying up there. I have these things and the buttons, and I'm walking up and I set them down and I'm like, okay, I think we're ready. Derek's still in there like looking at the tools. I'm like, I don't know if he's, you know, what he's doing. Not sure, who knows what, you know. Anyway, about that time he comes out or whatever. I was like, did you find anything? And he's like, no. And he was looking for like specific tools for, you know, machining and stuff. And so he saw the creeper at this point, finishing the CB radio. I'm like, both of you just use neuralizers and wipe this from your brain, Men in Black style, as soon as we leave here. And they're like, okay. I'm like, wait until you get it out of the car and then do it. And they're like, okay. So wait until we unload. So the lady is like, are you guys ready? And I'm like, yeah. And so I look at Finn and I'm like, are you getting the organ? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, are you getting the organ? And he's like, I'm not sure, you know. I'm like, okay. So let's see. Yeah, that's right. So she's like, okay, seize the creeper, the, you know, the things, CB radio, and the suit. And she's like, if you're buying those things, she's like, I'll just give you your stuff for free. Like, as in these rescued doilies, these buttons, and those 2 skeins of yarn and a hook. And I was just like, oh, you don't have to do that. Because, I mean, it's like $5 or something. I was like, oh, that's okay. You don't have to do that, you know. She's like, no, really. She's like, if you're getting that stuff, she's like, I'll just give it to you. She's like, since you're getting these other things. And I'm like, I really thank you. Like, that's really sweet. It was very sweet. Very, very sweet. So we paid like $9 or something for a suit, a creeper, a CB radio. Yeah, we're going to use it. It's a family fun night right there. Anyway, 3 rescue doilies, 2 skeins of yarn, a crochet hook, a bag of buttons, and a partridge in a pear tree, basically. So anyway, hardly anything. These beautiful pieces. So then Finn's standing there and he still can't quite decide about that organ, you know. And we're getting ready to go and he's like, hang on. I'm like, okay. So it goes to the back or whatever. I was like, are you just gonna go decide? And he's like, I think I'm going for it. So I'm like, all right. So he goes in the back and I'm like, do you need help? He's like, no. And because it's not very big. So he comes carrying it back out. So he goes up or whatever. And like I said, he buys it himself for $5, which was just like the coolest ever. It was $5. So needless to say, we had an amazing time at this little thrift store. So we get home, Finn and I are ready to go back. We're like telling Squirrely Dan, like whenever he gets off, like, it was so cool. Like they had this and this and we need to go back. And so I think, I don't know when, sometime we might all hop off and we're going back because we were ready to the other day and then we didn't make it. But and then it was Thanksgiving and, you know, life and all that stuff. But it was the coolest little store. And like I said, it was color coordinated and just clean and so pretty. And it smelled so good in there. Like, it's not often that you go in a thrift store and it's just like, yes. And so it was amazing. But yeah, I could not believe it. 3 rescue doilies for free. Y'all, for free. It was so cool. They're beautiful. I mean, that is so much work. And so then I was like, dang it. Like, you know, I thought about it. Now I feel like I need to go back and grab all the other doilies just because she gave me these for free. And so like girl math, if I go buy the other ones and it's like buy one, get one free. Basically, I'm getting the other doilies for free if I go and, you know, because I already was planning on purchasing these and then they were free. So if I go buy the other ones, somehow that's girl math. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, so I feel like somehow if I can make that into a wearable, how cool would that be? Like just use the roundish doilies as the back and just like kind of do like a beautiful piece and then do like the long runners on the front and have little arm sleeves. have little sleeves, and just, I think it could be really cool. So I don't know, I might do it, I might not. They may just hang up behind here, which was another thought I had, that would be really pretty if this was just like a doily collage back behind here. Kind of here for that too. So anyway, I was so excited. It was so much fun. We had an absolute blast there. Like I said, we will definitely be going back. The other two didn't get to go. Even Derek had fun. Derek was like, that was such a cool store. He does not like thrift stores and whatever. Like, I mean, he does, but he's not like die hard like Finn and myself. And so he was like, yeah, okay, we can stop, you know, that whole thing. But yeah, he was like, it's so cool in there. Like, it is so cool in there. And then the people, like I said, the husband and wife, they were super, super nice. Really cool people. Lots of fun. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's my, I don't know, story time, I guess, and rescue yarn. Heck, I don't know. Whatever we do here, that's what it is. So yeah, just a fun little outing. Like I said, just the three of us, which was really bizarre because it's usually the five of us. Kind of a bummer whenever that happens. Like, it's fun just to go like do something with, you know, just one of them, but then the whole time you're like, they would really like this too, you know. So anyway, but we will go back. I don't know, maybe I'll ask the lady and see if I can just take y'all around, which, I mean, technically we got the yarn last time, so there's not really any yarn. There's some doilies, and some furniture and stuff, but you know, it's still a cool time. Either way, a lot of way cool furniture. And they had a really cool table that I kind of wanted for like the corner of like the LuLaRoe shop. It's this really cool green table. It was so neat, and I can't stop thinking about that table. And also, I need to stop thinking about this because I asked for it for my birthday. So we were walking right before the CB radio part. We were walking, and Derek and Finn, about said his name again. Derek and Finn, there for a second I thought I did, were on the other side of this piece of furniture. And they're like oohing and ahhing over it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And anyways, Derek's like, do you know what that is? I'm like, yes, it's a record player. And he's like, yes, it is. I'm like, that is so cool. So it's like this big, huge, wooden, old school record player. And I instantly fell in love. I love records. I've always loved records. I love a good album. Nothing sounds as good as music played on a record, unless you're seeing someone live. Nothing compares to that like crisp, just good sound. It doesn't. It's not the same. You can't argue with it. It's just logic. So, love a record. We used to have a record wall in our bedroom. I still have a whole bunch of records, and I hung them all up on our wall, and like the whole entire thing was just full of records, and it was the coolest wall. And actually we had one in our dining room, the house before the last house. Our dining room was all like a record wall, and it had music. It had a chalkboard wall and then music lyrics and stuff on it, and like a drum kit, and then the dining room table, because you know, you can eat on drums if you have to. So we had that all set up. And then in the new house, our last house, I was like, I need to continue the record wall. So we had a big giant wall full of records, and it was so cool. So I love records. 1 year for Christmas, I got a record player, and I cried, like wept. It was ridiculous because I had all these records and couldn't listen to them. So seeing the record player, I was just like, oh, stop it. And so I'm like, can I have that for my birthday? Because it was $25. $25. So I told Derek, I was like, I don't even care if it doesn't work. Like, we can take the thing, like the record player out of it, and put my record player in there and just have the cabinet. Like, I don't even care if it doesn't work. For $25, this is an amazing piece of furniture because it has the speakers on the front. They're intact, perfect. No holes, no like scratches, anything at all. The wood, there's a couple spots that are kind of messed up, but I mean, it's like that. I feel like it's an 80s piece, so it's not like, it's like that whole like particle board time where it wasn't really like real wood, but then it was like kind of that, you know what I mean? Like that one wood. It's like more particle board than anything. So I feel like I can paint it and not feel bad. Like some wood, it's like, don't paint that because it's real wood. this isn't real wood, so I don't think I'd feel bad like painting it. So I can make something really cool, or use like newspaper things that aren't not necessarily newspaper, but like somehow use like song lyrics or something and kind of like Mod Podge the whole top of it and make it just insanely cool, like a mosaic of coolness was kind of what I was thinking. Anyway, perhaps some music notes and put this on top. Anyway, okay, so I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. So I'm like, can I have that for my birthday? And Derek's like, yes. And I look at Finn and he's like I'm like, y'all don't forget. And they're like, okay. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I don't know, we'll see. If not, it's cool. I'll go the next day and buy it for myself. So tell them, like, here's my money. Will you go pick it up for me, please? Thank you. It's so cool. I know they'll remember because I've talked about it a few times, which I need to stop because then I'm gonna like ruin the surprise. I'm just gonna be like, yay, it's here, instead of like, oh my gosh, that record player. So really I need to stop, but it's so cool. So anyway, yeah, so it was so much fun. So we had an absolute blast. Rescue Crochet, record players, CB radios, creepers, if you're into that sort of thing. Not like the weird people, not like Minecraft, but like mechanic. So lots of good stuff. So anyway, that's my story time. And then after that, we came home. Squirrely Dan got off work. We ate dinner, watched TV. The usual evening. Told Squirrely Dan about the store. That was it. So anyway, but yeah, we had an absolute blast. We will be going back. Like I said, maybe if we go back, I can somehow show you guys at least just the beautifulness that is the tables being color coordinated, because it was so good. So anyway, all right. So I thank you all so very much for listening to my story time. Rescue Crochet rambling. I appreciate you guys. I hope you all have a wonderfully, wonderfully blessed day. Please stay safe, and I will talk to you all very soon.